Welcome to episode 13 of Karma's a Stitch. I'm Tanya, and my son Anthony joins me on occasion. He's not here this week, and we will talk more about that in a little while. If you are a subscriber here, thank you so much and welcome back. If you are new, welcome, and I hope you enjoy the episode. If you do, and you want to be notified of future episodes, just hit the like and subscribe button and the bell with the notification, and that would be appreciated, and you will be notified of any future updates that we do here at Karma's a Stitch. If you are a returning viewer, you'll know that I do put a scripture on the screen with every episode. We don't spend a lot of time talking about it. I do type it up and put it at the end of the episode. And the scripture for this video is Proverbs 31:30. So I'll put that at the end of the video. Let's see. Admin stuff. You can get me on Ravelry as 76Karma. I'm on Instagram as Karma's a Stitch. I have a Facebook page, but I am not really active on there. You'll see everything that's on my Facebook page is basically on my Instagram. And I have an email, which is tanya@karmasastitch.com. That is basically the main places that you can get me. Email is great. Instagram is great. Either one of those are probably the best way to get in touch with me. I'm pretty good about responding in a timely fashion. Let's see. I did take some notes this week, so if you see me looking over, I am looking at notes. I'm hoping that they're not overly distracting. I'm hoping. So that's what I'm looking at if you see me look over. At the end of each episode, I do put out some goals that I'd like to meet before my next episode. So it's been 2 weeks. I had 3 goals. Yep, I had 3 goals that I put out at the end of the last episode. And I am happy to say that I pretty much mostly met them. And I will go through those as I'm talking about my whips this week. I will tell you what my goals were. So the no new purchases this week. I have no new patterns, no new project bags, no new yarn. My mom has told me she's got several new bags done, so I'm excited about those to come in the mail because, they always do. And I think that's it. So let's talk about some whips. I have had a pretty busy week this week, and I'll try to put in little details as we go through the episode. My brother and my 17-year-old niece came and spent the weekend at our house. They live in Oregon, and they came here and spent the weekend. We had lots and lots of time to chat and talk, and it was wonderful to see them. It felt great to visit with them. We really did spend the entire 3 days visiting. It was wonderful, and I truly enjoyed it. With that, you spend 3 days talking. That's quality crafty time. I think somebody has an air blower going. I'm going to try to talk through it and ignore it. We'll see how I do. So with this project, I needed something I could work on and talk and visit with them. And I'm really glad to say that I am a crocheter as well. With this project, I'm using a size E hook. And that's not going to focus. I don't know why I'm even holding it up there, but that is what I'm using. I don't know that I should say that this is a new project. It is a new project. I'm doing a granny stripe blanket, and it is going to be huge. I'm just using all of my scraps, all of my minis that I've pulled out from multiple different dyers. It is very big, queen size, maybe king, and I'm just gonna go. There's no deadline on this. It's a no-brain work on project, and it was something I could do while visiting with my brother and my niece, and it's been really great. Like, hey, Ted, what color do you think should come after this blue? And I got to have his participation in picking the colors, and Alex helped me pick what color should come next. And so that's kind of fun. I was originally working on a different crochet project with these scrappy yarns. I'll put some pictures on how far I got with that project. I wasn't enjoying it. I wasn't enjoying working on it. I wasn't having fun. I didn't look forward to pulling it out. And when I sit down to craft, it needs to be something I'm enjoying. It is my decompression. It is my de-stressor. And I try so hard to be positive in my life. And I need to have that kind of grounding time to really get me focused, which is hard when you have an air blower going on outside your house. So this is my bag of scraps. Right here is about how full it is. I'm touching a ball right there. Okay. And this is what we got on the inside. Whoopsie. There we go. I mean, so it's pretty full. I've got lots in there. I mean, I don't even know how to hold this to show you, but you get the gist. I've got lots in here. This is what I'm pulling from. This is what I will add to as I'm working on this project. This is something, I know it's wrong, but it sits in my lap when I'm driving and if I'm at a stoplight or in traffic, because there is plenty of that where we have moved to. And I have this, and it's a no-brainer. It's a granny square. It's a granny stripe. You're not looking at it, but your fingers are moving. So that is the current scrappy granny stripe blanket that I was able to get a really good start on with my brother here, because I could talk and visit and not feel like I was having to focus on a pattern. The next whip that I have is in this bag from my mother. Love this bag. I need to put it in a smaller bag. I've got my DPN holder with my needles. Pop that open. Because DPNs means socks. And Mandy with Mouse's Makes podcast has a sock along going right now. And with that sock along is a Zoom meeting, which I really wanted to participate in. So I needed to have some socks on. I'm hoping that the more socks I do, the more I enjoy them. I'm not there yet. However, I am making a pair of socks for my mom. And this is as far as I have gotten. The only time I am working on these socks is during that Zoom meeting with Mandy and the group. And I've really enjoyed visiting with them. Yes, the yarn that I'm using for this, I'm doing these on 2.75 DPNs. I'm doing this with Bamboo Pop. The colorway is Frosty Morning, color 211. And this is cotton and bamboo. Was that totally upside down? I'm so sorry. Maybe it wasn't. Can I block myself? It's not going to work. Okay. So this is 50% cotton, 50% bamboo, and that's what I'm using for these socks. I'm hoping that they last. I had someone, Caroline with Aria Barks podcast is also a part of that Zoom meeting with Mandy with the sock along. And she told me she's got some bamboo socks and they've held up great. Or they're still on the go. So I'm hoping that my mom is able to get some good use out of these. That's what I'm working on. In this project bag are my socks. The next whip that I am working on, I had a goal. I had a goal for this project this week, and it is one that I feel pretty great about as far as reaching this goal. This is a project, and if you are able to see what this image is, let me know, because I don't want to continue to show this on the podcast, on the episodes, if you can really tell what it is, because this is a Christmas gift for my son. I'm just so excited about this illusion knitting technique of knitting, I guess. It's a technique. So the goal that I had this week was to do another 3 inches. I feel like from here up to here, and it's kind of curling, I feel like that's 3 inches. I can't find my measuring tape, so I can't really measure it. But this is, it's going to be a wall hanging. So if you look at it straight on, you can't really tell what it is. But as you turn or walk past, you are able to see a little bit more of the image. See how it kind of pops out? If you can tell what it is, please don't mention it in the comments, because I do believe Anthony reads them. But this is such a great technique. And if you have ever thought about attempting an illusion knit pattern, so when you alternate, you do 2 rows of your light color, 2 rows of your dark color. And if you are working on the right side, you're just knitting straight across, okay? There's no pattern to follow on the right side. You're just going straight across. So it's basically every other row there's a pattern, because you do the right side row, straight knit of your light color, and then you turn around and you do your dark, and you do your wrong side row. Well, when you're doing your wrong side row, that's when you follow your pattern, and it'll say, okay, do this many knits and this many purls all the way across. And so when you do a knit stitch on your wrong side, it shows up as a purl on the right side, right? So then you do your pattern all the way across the wrong side, and then you're back to the right side, and now you're going to just switch colors. Knit all the way across, turn your work, do the wrong side with that same color. It's just been really great. I mean, I think it's absolutely beautiful, and it's easy to follow. I'm excited for him to see what this is. I am going to move the stitch marker, because that way I don't forget to do it when I start knitting on this again this week. Move that up. The yarn that I'm using for this project is yarn that I dyed specifically for this project. So I wanted something that Anthony could hang in his home, but not look too feminine. And the fact that I have this brown yarn in this pink ball hugger from my mom is kind of ruining that whole let's not be too feminine look. So maybe I should pick a different ball hugger for the brown. But I just feel the way that these colors are looking together, I don't feel like it's too feminine for him. I am excited for that to be on his wall. This is the first time I've ever had to do a provisional cast on. We'll see how that goes when it's time to get rid of that cast on edge. It's the first time I've ever done it. The next whip that I am working on, I also had a goal for, and that is my Louisa Harding sweater. This is also part of a Zoom meeting. So if you look at this pattern at the bottom here, you can see the little edging, right? So when I pull out my progress, you're knitting it kind of this way. The rows are going this way. You're not doing top down, you're doing side to side. And you got to do a front pattern and a back pattern. And the goal that I had for this project this week was I really wanted to do I really wanted to do, I said 4 to 5 more repeats. I had 1 repeat complete and I wanted to do 4 to 5 more repeats. So this is where I was at the last episode, right here. So here you can see down here are the little edging pieces. And these 2 compose the first repeat. And so these 2 would be the second repeat, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So I did 4 more additional repeats. And so this here is going to be this sweater. It'll go on like this, and I'm going to keep building across. Once I've done the front, I have to repeat this and do the back part, the back panel of the sweater. I'm going to move this stitch marker as well. These skeins of yarn that I'm using are 50-gram skeins. So I'm hoping that there is enough yarn to get through the whole pattern, because I've done 5 repeats total. I need 14 for the first panel, and I have just started my 3rd skein of yarn. The Progress Keeper I am using, see if I can turn this around for you, is from Inner Yarn Zen. It was part of the stitch marker swap at our retreat, and yeah, so that's where my sweater's at. I'm using a 10.5 needle, and I love these needles. I don't remember what the first project was that I used these for, but these Knitter's Pride Gingers are amazing. I have loved working with them every single time I've worked with them. I am doing a 10.5. I am using the yarn that is called for, Merino Wool Llama Silk. This is the yarn that is called for in the pattern. And I believe the color I'm using is actually the color that is featured on the cover of that magazine. It's 60% wool, 20% llama, and 20% silk. And it is just, it's just super soft. This is the first time I've ever worked with yarn where I'm actually picking hay out of it, which is actually kind of cool. I mean, it just kind of takes you back to the origin of what you're actually working with. And then my mind goes through the whole process that this string, the process that this has gone through to be built into this, where it actually started. For me to be picking hay out, I'm going much deeper on this than I probably need to, but it's been amazing. I've really enjoyed working with this yarn. So there's that whip. I feel like I mostly met the goal for that one. I did say I wanted to do 4 to 5 more repeats. I only did 4. So there we go. FOs. I got my Mohairino medley complete. It is finished. It is all done. It is off the needles. I need to weave in some ends. Those are going to have to be woven. I will do that after I block it. I did have a friend that offered to weave in the ends of this for me. I was floored. I was unable to make it to the event where she was going to be. However, she made that offer, and that was, yeah. I don't know that there's anybody I like enough to offer to do that. But it is off of the needles, and I need to block it before it gets given away for Christmas. This was a project, the Mohairino Medley by Stephen West. It was so much fun to make. Every one of these panels, every one of these stitch patterns, right? Every one of these are different, and every one of them was so much fun. I truly enjoyed making this. I have not enjoyed looking at it. These are colors that I won. This is fiber that I won through a drawing. These are not colors I myself would have chosen to put together. But I already know who it's going to for Christmas. And I hope she enjoys this shawl because her husband was here this weekend and he seems to think that she will. So I hope that it is something amazing for her. This was, again, this was the Mohairino medley by Stephen West. It is finished, ready to be blocked, and I will have a link below to my Ravelry project page that will talk about the yarn that I used, because that was fiber that I won, and I've talked about it and showed it in previous episodes, so I'm not going to do that here, but it is something that I did talk about before, and I do have a Ravelry project page set up for that. So that is my FO. I have 2 projects that one of them maybe I should talk about first, because maybe this is a new acquisition. I don't know. This is something that my mother-in-law brought over to me and said, hey, could you put these together as a quilt? She gave us an antique twin size bed and dresser with a mirror on it and 2 chairs for sitting. And it's old. I don't know how old, but it's been in their family for a long, long time. And she had these squares, lots of these squares. And she brought them over. She's like, well, if you don't want to make something with them, that's totally fine. Feelings are not going to be hurt. I can get rid of them at a garage sale. But she sounded like she really wanted these put together as a quilt. So it looks crochet. It does not look knit. So I am going to put these 14 squares together and make a blanket for the antique bed that she gave us. So when you look at these are all the same square. Okay, they're all the same. So when you look at this and I put these together, I'm gonna obviously connect them on the border. What color would you use to put these? I mean, it's like a bone ivory. I don't even know what the material is. It feels acrylic, which I'm fine with using. I just don't know what color to use to connect them and put them together. What would you use? Would you use something really contrasting, or would you try to match it so it was a completely solid ivory spread on this bed? I don't know. I don't know what to do. So if you have any thoughts on that, please feel free to share them. So this, I guess, is kind of a new acquisition, but a future project. The other project that I have here is in this project bag that I won. I showed this at the last episode. I won this from our local yarn store. And this is housing my Stephen West Mystery Knit-Along colors. See if I can hold these in such a way. I am using all Plucky Knitter yarn. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to hold these together, you guys, but I'm gonna try real hard. Okay. So here we have all of my colors. Whoops, there it goes. And the other one. Let's try this again. Okay. There we go. Dun, dun, dun. So those are the colors I'm using for my Stephen West Mystery Knit Along 2021. Okay, I feel pretty good about them. With that being said, I am going to be doing a Zoom meeting, probably 2 of them, for people wanting to get together and do a Zoom meeting for the Stephen West Mystery Knit Along. I will do one during the day for people in another time zone that would really like to participate in something like that. And I will do one in the evenings for folks that work during the day and it's easier for them to participate in the evenings. I am going to put 2 out there. I'm not sure if one will be on the weekend or during the week. I'm not sure on scheduling just yet, but I will have that put together. So if you are interested in participating in this Zoom meeting for the Stephen West Mystery Knit Along, if you could email me at Tanya@karmasastitch.com, that would be fantastic, because I will send you the meeting number and password for each of the Zoom meetings that we put together, that I schedule. So that's that future project coming together tomorrow. I am also doing Vlogtober. However, I'm doing it once a week. And so I started last Friday doing some recording stuff, and I am going to go through today, and I'll try to post that tonight. And then I'll start another one tomorrow. So coincidentally, that coincides with the Stephen West Mystery Knit Along. That Vlogtober, if you do not want spoilers on the Mystery Knit Along, that will not be the Vlogtober for you to watch, because I will be showing the progress on my shawl. And if you're way ahead of me, you're gonna be like, yeah, I know why she's struggling with this. I know why this is. If I'm hung up on something, you're gonna see that in that Vlogtober. If I'm further along than you are and you don't want that mystery ruined, that would be the wrong Vlogtober to watch, because I am going to be showing the progress. And I will post for this prior week, Thursday or Friday. I'm not sure how I'm going to make that work just yet, but it will be happening. Goals for next episode 14, will be, I want to do another 3 inches on the illusion knitting. I think that 3 inches is very manageable in a 2-week time period. I would like to do at least 3 more repeats on that Louisa Harding sweater. I would like to do at least 3 more of those repeats. I want to be done with the gusset decreases on the sock, 1 sock, gusset decreases complete, and be working on the length of the foot by the next episode. And I want to be current with the clues from the Mystery Knit Along. So that would mean that I would have clue 1 done, and I would be real close to finishing clue 2 from Stephen West in 2 weeks. So that's the goals for the next episode. This week, there goes the air again. She's blowing leaves out of her driveway. She's the neatest neighbor. We've lucked out with her across the street. She's a very kind woman. And we have leaves just dumping off the trees right now. On a personal note, I mentioned my brother and my niece being here. They were here for a few days. I got to really work on that granny stripe blanket, made massive headway and progress on that. I had my husband's sister got into town the same day that my brother and niece left. She's here for a week. She will be babysitting Alex Friday evening while my husband and I go get pedicures together. This will be the 2nd time Alex has, we don't get babysitters. So it's kind of a big deal that my mother-in-law has come over and sat with her for an hour or 2, which has been amazing. But this is like the first time my husband and I are going to do something together, leaving the child. Pedicures. With my husband's sister being here, we are going to an all-school field trip to a pumpkin patch tomorrow, Friday, the day of Stephen West first clue. It's going to drive me insane because the clue's going to be released at 9:00 a.m. my time. I have to pick up my sister and mother-in-law at 8:45 a.m. my time to go spend the big chunk of the day at this pumpkin patch field trip, which is great fun. My husband's taking the day off work. We're going to get to do it as a family, which is fantastic. It's wonderful for Alex, and she doesn't ever get to see this aunt because this aunt does still live in Alaska. So we are pretty excited about that. However, it does happen on the day of the Stephen West first clue release. And then we have our pedicures Friday evening, which is also when the yarn shop here in town is having a get together as a kickoff, knit together Stephen West party shindig, which I won't be able to participate in because I will be getting pedicures with my husband. So, talked about the pumpkin patch, talked about my sister-in-law. Dogs are doing great. May or may not have some pictures or videos to put in here. Let's talk about Anthony. Anthony has tested positive for COVID, and he lives separate from me. He lives in his own home. He does have somebody else live in a home with him. However, I am his primary caregiver. So what that has meant for my family this week, keeping Alex and my husband and my in-laws safe, and yet still caring for Anthony, has been a very trying balance for me. I have found myself sitting outside of Anthony's home, just telling him to open his front door so I can actually lay eyeballs on him. Because of his medical condition, when he had his accident years ago, it led to a lung condition. And so we've tried really hard to make sure he is kind of sequestered. I mean, we kind of surround him kind of with a buffer of people. He doesn't, anyway, we knew that if he got it, it was going to possibly affect his breathing and his respiratory, because that's what COVID has mainly been attacking. So, you know, with your O2, for normal folks, normal healthy folks, you want your O2 roughly between 94 and 98. And there's been a few days this week where we're struggling to keep Anthony's O2 above 90. And just sitting on the phone with him and FaceTiming with him and talking about posture and making sure he's not slunched over, which isn't going to give his lungs the room they need to fully, you know, going through breathing exercises and all of his daily care that I typically do with him, having to do that solely over the phone. So, I mean, his grocery shopping is something that is done with him. This is something I've had to do for him. Exerting himself to even unload groceries is making him winded. We have contacted a company that rents out oxygen machines. We just need to get a prescription. Do you hear that, puppy? That is a clue. I promise I'm wrapping up. So we have worked on getting that lined up if we need it. But we have found that if he has his back door open and he's aware of his posture and he's drinking and eating, if his O2 is low, the lowest it's been was 86, and getting him to sit up straight and roll his shoulders back and sit outside and breathe some good, fresh, clean air. Within 15 minutes, we were able to get his O2 brought back up above 90. So that is something that my family is going through right now. It's been very difficult to keep my distance. I have had no contact with him physically, which has been a struggle for me as his mom and his caregiver. It's been a trying time, and we're working through it and we're getting through it. We are in a place where they are very loudly letting us know we have no hospital beds, we have no ventilators. So even if he were to get sick and need to be hospitalized and be put in a building where it's full of sick people, there's no machines available to help him breathe. So we have taken the steps to try to keep his O2 up, and we have looked into what we need in order to get an oxygen machine rented and at home for him, so that we can really go through that. If he starts to deteriorate at all, the person living in his home with me is in constant communication with me, is cooking his meals for him so he doesn't have to get up, is helping take care of his dog so he doesn't have to move around and exert any energy, which is just going to increase his, which is not what we need for his O2. So if you could keep Anthony in your thoughts and prayers, very much appreciated. If you are interested in the Zoom meeting for the Stephen West Knit Along, please send me an email, Tanya@karmasastitch.com, and I will get those meeting IDs and passwords sent to you as soon as I have them scheduled. And I think that's it, folks. I'll put in a little bit of extra stuff at the end like I always do. The scripture, Proverbs 30:31, will also be here at the end, and I will see you guys in a couple of weeks. Hope everybody's good and well and healthy and safe. All right, bye.